Say hello to the all-new Alexa Plus and see how Alexa can do so much more for you. Need tickets to see your favorite artist? Craving your comfort restaurant? Just sit back, relax, and talk naturally. Alexa's on it. It learns your style, anticipates what's next, and makes it happen across Echo, Fire TV, and more. Learn more at amazon.com/new Alexa.
Meet the computer you can talk to. With Copilot on Windows, working, creating, and collaborating is as easy as talking. Got writer's block? Share your screen with Copilot Vision to help spark inspiration, and use Copilot Voice to have a conversation and brainstorm ideas. Or maybe you need some tech help. With Copilot Vision, Copilot sees what you see. Let Copilot talk you through step-by-step guidance so you can master new apps, games, and skills faster. Try now at windows.com/Copilot.
Hello, family. I'm Janaya Future Khan, and this is Dark Woke. Just before we hit it, I want to say thank you to all the listeners out there, and a special shout out to the supporters who make this show possible. It truly means the world to me. If you'd like to become a member, our Patreon is linked in the episode right up below. Hello, family. I really wanted this to be a fun episode, and I think there's going to be a smidge of fun, but as some of you might know, my mom passed away over the weekend on Sunday, and I'm just really heartbroken. She's one of my best friends, and we're really alike, and I just love her, and she's one of the very few people on this planet who, has loved me the way that she has. Because for all that there were hardships and mistakes and circumstances and everything else, not one of us, myself, my sister, and my brother, doubt her love. Like, how fucking awesome you have to be. But we did share a sense of humor. And I don't mean like we shared a sense of humor. No, I mean like we're the both same kind of crazy. And so I'm going to say something that I know that my mom would really appreciate to kick this off. But I just wanted you to know really quick. I said it in the post, but I wanted to say it more. I actually made a story, shocking. But I was like, oh, wow, I have to do something with these really big feelings. Otherwise they rot right inside of us. It's a reminder that you're not alone. This was a really tough year. And so I just want to say this, right? One of the most challenging things in this moment outside of grieving for my mom was grieving, of course, the fact that I couldn't be there with her, and for no just reason. There's no just reason for why I couldn't be with my mom in her final moments, because I'm a green card holder. You know what I mean? There's a literal legal precedent. But even if there wasn't, this is what has been normal and normalized under this administration. And so, I mentioned in this story, I just, trying to process how awful all of this feels. What was robbed from my mom. And that's really what I was sitting with over the weekend. My sister said, I miss what you bring. And she's been so amazing. She's been so amazing. And we're really, really close. And we have a deep appreciation for our very different energies and where they came from, But she said, I miss what you brought here. You're the person who gets into bed with mom, and you guys laugh together, and, all this stuff. And, we don't have that relationship. And it's true. My sister is so wonderfully pragmatic and so dependable and, silly in her own ways. But she had a very particular relationship with my mom, and I had a different one. We were friends, and my sister had that relationship with my dad. And that's what we realized now that, both of our parents are gone. But it really made me think about not only what was taken from me, it was what was taken from my mom, you know, that he took that. But she knew, you know, she knew everything she already needed to know, and so did I. And I just want to say, you know, I think this year has kicked us all in the chest at some point, somewhere along the line. Um, you know, by this country, this government, the sources of power, all that bullshit, right? And it feels almost impossible that things could change when they've gotten so bad so quickly and seem to continue to get worse. And that's the point. That's how you're supposed to feel. It's by design. We're all walking around getting beat up, you know, the downtrodden, right? The literal downtrodden. We have boots on our neck. We've got footprints on our chest. And, you know, you put enough of those things together and footprints become a march really quickly. And the great thing about footprints, you know, the marks that people leave on us is it feels like a lot, but it's always skin deep, right? And when you get kicked like that, it doesn't really do more than bruise. It might really hurt, but it doesn't really do more than bruise. But most importantly, it generates momentum. And that's how we end up finding each other. That's how movements are made, right? The many footprints, the many of those of us alone that get, you know, who become a march. That's what happens when all of us get together and a march becomes a movement. And I know that I'm not the only one. I'm not even close. But with that, you know, we did say that we're going to do things we're leaving behind in 2025. And, you know, my mom would appreciate this joke because I would have told her, Mom, you were not supposed to be on the list. You know, you were, wow. She'd say, oh my God, May. Cat. You know, that's how she laughed. May, you know, that's what she called May. And that's how she said it every time. I don't know that I have all the fun with me at the moment. But I do have the list. I don't know if I can deliver it as well. I'm sure Corey will step in if I am really sinking, but this will be a pretty short episode, as I'm sure you can imagine. But it's been so clarifying too, because I've never been more clear or more ready, surrounded by better people. You know, these moments really reveal, you know, who your pillars are and how essential it is to honor that. I have felt such community. The phone calls, you know, the messages, you know, flowers, tequila. It's been really, really wonderful. And it's been easy because everybody just gets how fucked up the situation is. And it would be so much easier if we started from that place where, you know, we found people credible. And the last thing I'll say about my mom before we get into this list is, you know, that's really what changed our relationship so much. I just started to believe everything that she said. Even if, you know, she was making up the fact that I lived with her until college or whatever, I know what happened and what really happened. And I also struggled, you know, I'd be like, oh, how could she? And she's just lying and I can't believe. And then I'm like, what if she's not? What if this story's awesome? And I have people who believe me and my mom doesn't, right? So I'll be one of those people. And it helped me understand that sometimes they were offerings and gifts. It's like, oh, this might be what she wished happened. And, you know, my mom has a lot of pretty severe mental health stuff and, you know, was really abandoned, I think, by the system and unable to make care for herself or at times her kids a priority with any consistency. And, you know, we lose our people earlier because of that. She had a lot of years left to live. But the thing is, in however many years my mom lived, because she's been lying about her age for a really long time, she was, I think, you know, in her late 60s, which makes sense. I could look it up later, but she just lived more than almost anyone else I know, with less than almost anyone else I know. It was really about going to the library and connecting with people at bars or getting into fights and stealing shit, you know, the vendettas, she really was living. And, we both had such an appreciation for drama, because sometimes it was partly because she was nuts, but it was partly because she was like, this isn't functioning properly. Let's see what happens when I fuck it up a little bit, and that's what made my mom pretty fucking awesome. Like, some of you might have heard this already, but like if my mom's not getting like served in a bank, she'll like drop to her knees and throw her hands out and like throw her head up and look into the sky and scream, "Do you see me now?" Like, tell me that's not something that every person has not wanted to do at some point in their lives. The difference between my mom and most people is that she went and did it, But anyway, okay. Things that we're leaving behind in 2025. Down DL niggas. Thank you, Corey, for that addition. Cause yeah, you guys are being so fucking weird. Just get your shit together. Right? There's privacy and then there's secrecy and hiding, right? And it's so like you got to live your life, babe. But if you're the DL, then there's somebody who don't know. Okay, like that's the problem. It's probably somebody who should. So you got to go. In fact, that actually ties into something else down the list. Potential homosexuality. Okay, potential homosexuality. Either gobble that dick or don't. Okay, it's time you knew. It's time you knew. It's a spectrum at the same time.
Sure. Fair.
Yeah.
Let's
tell me.
Yes.
Because my only addition
Go ahead.
is at the same time, enough with this only gays and trans can play gays and trans in films and television. We're done with that. We're done with that. But let's go back to the DL thing because I feel like you have a better take on it than I do. Because I'm not as impassioned.
Okay. Benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Hooking up with DL dudes is good. It is.
Yeah.
But when they finish, they realize what they just did and they try to kill you. I'm not down with that part because DL then means don't live, and I'm trying to. But
And meanwhile, to their potential respective partners, I don't know what's required to be DL, but I can say for the girls involved, they're DL niggas. The DL is don't look.
Don't look.
Don't look. Don't look at my phone.
Because have you heard about those girls who
are to see where I'm going,
asking their gay friends to like show me your Grindr because they want to see if their men's on there? That's messy.
If you're already there, you probably shouldn't be together. You know what I mean? But also, you don't know when he got there. You got to get all the information.
And girls, it's not because of you. He was gay. He was gay. He was
just already. You know what I mean?
He was already gay.
Meanwhile, there's just endless studs just being like, "I got you, bitch." He slips up, I got you. Things we're leaving behind in 2025. Amy Schumer. I think it's very clear. Amy Schumer's got to go. She got to go.
Why does she have to go specifically?
Why she got to go specifically? Oh my God.
Tell me.
Girl, first of all, you're so weird about Muslims. You and Deborah messing, but she's still more likable than you. Because Deborah, I'm like, Deborah's nuts. You're dumb.
Yeah.
And that's different. Like Deborah messing.
Yeah.
She's a mess.
She's a mess. It's in the name.
We knew. That's why we liked her so well. Mm-hmm. You can't have hair like that and be normal.
100%.
I just feel like you can't have hair like that and be normal.
No, red means danger.
Okay, think about all that hair. Okay, red means danger, but think about all that hair. Okay, why didn't Rapunzel just leave? They crazy.
Because Rapunzel could have tied her hair to something in the room and then just repelled out the window.
She could have cut that bitch off.
Yeah,
herself. Concentrated real hard. I could go cut it. Get down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they crazy. But Amy Schumer, is a hack who is like the Islamophobia, the self-obsession, the fact that she was on like one of these like Women of the Year things, you know, and it's really hard not to make transphobic jokes right now because I want to, and fuck the political climate that's taken that option away from me so that I can't riff on Woman of the Year. The culture's not right for it, but it will be at some point. I will say, okay, cunt would have been more appropriate. Not that great on stage. Does a great turn, right? She does like, that's a joke term. She does a great turn. So that's like, you got the 1, the 2, and then you hit them with the absurd thing.
Right.
But that's low key how she moves anyway. Because bitch, you did a full 180 on any kind of justice. So it's time for you to turn away. It's just stay in 2025. This has got to be your biggest year. Like, we have got to see to that. I don't want to look at a mouth shaped like an anus anymore. It's like an anus with teeth. That's what her whole mouth looks like.
The way that I pictured it, saw it.
Okay, her face is like Worcesternshire's poetry. Like, it's one of those, you know, when she's conjuring up these like really intensely hideous things. Because she's so informed, so much of her poetry is informed by horror film. So so there's a lot of teeth, a lot of reference to teeth. Dry shampoo? I don't know what the fuck that is. It just feels too wet. It's got to go.
Yeah, out of here.
What is that? You know what I mean? The point of the shampoo is to get out all the stuff.
Yes, with wet water.
Where does it go?
Yes.
Where is it going?
Yeah. Nowhere. Scalp. Build up. Yeah. Like,
this is what I'm trying to say. I think it just shooshes up your hair a bit. But then, you're just using the felt to lift it or something. Honestly, get the volume how you can get it. But what the fuck is that? You could have just used some mousse. Just use some mousse. Okay. Terminal uniqueness. Okay. So for those who don't know, I'm going to be so succinct because this isn't about proving something is true. There's lots of episodes to do that. There's also going to be lots more episodes where we can do that. But this is the context of terminal uniqueness I'm talking about. First of all of it. All of it. Right? But really specifically, the terminal uniqueness of my experience is unique in the history of the world. No one else has known my experience, and everyone should and must know it, and the entirety of society should be reshaped based on what I have specifically gone through. Now, doesn't that sound annoying when I say that? But imagine now that swaths of people are saying it. Now imagine it's the same types of people over and over again. I'm going to make something up and you're going to hear it and you're going to be like, oh shit. And it's going to annoy you because they're not the same, but they're kind of the same. Okay. Y'all know how I feel about the term Zionist. It's dated, but for the purpose of this, Zionist Jews, right? White trans people, and all the racist bigots who believe in an ethno-state, hear me out, all believe that they're aggrieved, and aggrieved in a way that no one else can understand. We have the male loneliness epidemic, and also, our jobs are being stolen. Everybody hates white guys. No one cares about us, blah, blah, blah. So you've got that. And so they've come up with this whole anti-immigrant white ethno-state thing. Zionist Jews genuinely believe that their experience of oppression historically and today is wholly unique in the history of human experience. And require that extreme positions be taken because of how aggrieved they've been throughout history. And then lastly, you've got trans people who are like, this has never happened. And specifically white trans folks are like, this has never happened to anyone else before in the history of the world. No one understands. And you need to adhere to my pronouns and how I feel about that. And I'm like, no, you're all tiny percentages of the population that believe that your worldview should become the dominant worldview in society. I disagree. I could not disagree more. What I'm here for is healthcare, education, you know, housing, food, water, all of which is clean, accessible, ideally free when it, more so than not. And I'm going to fight to make that possible. So I don't care about pronouns. I never will. And I think that the expectation that people demand or require pronoun check-ins, I don't participate in them because it's okay. It was actually really admirable that we attempted something. It doesn't work. So we should move on, right? It's the same thing with differently abled. It doesn't work. And so what I'm calling this terminal uniqueness anymore, and by the way, pronoun check-ins, 2025. 2025. I don't want to hear it. I really don't. I'm totally what you can do and what we should have always done. Because there was always the potential to be like, oh, what's your pronoun? Right. That's the concern. People are like, well, then they're going to be walking up to random people and saying, what's your pronoun? Which is basically saying you look like a freak. I'm like, we only do pronoun check-ins when we see a freak anyway. But hold on. The best way to invite someone into your culture is to just say, my pronouns are XY, right? And then someone else can meet you in that place or not.
Right.
Right. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why we turned it into something bigger. I'm calling this now, instead of terminal uniqueness, insufferable faggotry. That's what I'm calling it, because that's actually what it is. I'm like, I don't want any malevolence lumped onto these people.
Well, hold on
because
now.
Because not because I'm like, because it doesn't keep me above reproach, which is just strategic.
Right.
I'm gonna say, like, I don't need. Here's why I'm making the caveat though. I don't need you to get dunked on because it doesn't do anything. We don't win.
Mm-hmm.
But you're insufferable, and you're self-obsessed.
Yes.
And that is the most faggoty behavior.
Yes.
And so insufferable faggotry is just what makes sense. I'm like, also, but I do want to be clear, Zionist Jews are just extremists who are bigoted and Islamophobes by default, which is why I don't like the term Zionist. I'm like, it's Jewish extremist, but let's move on. Any questions about that one? Insufferable faggotry?
No, I wanted to know if that term is copyrighted because I will be making merchandise with that on it very soon. That's a bar. What?
Insufferable faggotry. We're gonna be hearing that a lot in 2026 because like Trump, all of them. I'm like, all of you are feeling like very demented Joan Rivers.
Yeah. Yes.
Minus the style, minus the chic, like minus the like right frame of power analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, okay. Arguing with people who don't read.
Yes.
You out.
Yes.
I'm not doing that anymore. This is going to be tough because it means unless I'm working, I'm almost going to be talking to no one. But you can gauge pretty quickly who doesn't read. And I'm being so like literal, non-literal here. There's reading and then there's comprehending. And what I've learned is there's a lot of people who don't know or understand the words that they're saying as they're saying them or why they're saying them. One of my favorite things in a debate is to ask or to say, actually, I just assert, I'll say something, and someone will come in, and oftentimes they're saying something that is not what I said. And it always throws them off. And I said, you're defending a point I'm not contesting, which for the record in 2026, you're probably going to hear me say a lot. And then no, because you said this. And I said, yeah. And what I said was exactly what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you have an interpretation of that, but this is actually what I said. I said exactly what I was talking about. Oh, people don't comprehend. And so I'm starting to recognize you'd think I'd know how to read, but I'm really starting to recognize in my interior life that I've been building with people who simply don't even comprehend what I'm saying, and changing that has been massive for my life. So it works politically and, in your personal, but I'm like, yeah, no, if you can't think or read or comprehend, if your worldview is the size of a pea, you remember Princess and the Pea? Bitch, that's why they wrote that book. It's a bitch that don't got perspective. And so there are people, the thing that will always get me, and this is something we could leave behind in 2025, it's a miscalculation we made in the movement culture, and also that I can still make, because building friends is a challenge at any age. We miscalculated as a movement when we were like, hey, transformative justice, community accountability, that there were people in the world. It confuses me to this day. And Corey has to remind me all the time, like, that's because what's normal here isn't. And I'm like, right, I have to constantly be reminded of that. We miscalculated how invested people would be in continued conflict. Like, there are people out there who genuinely believe that they stand to benefit more from conflict than resolution. And I can't think of a worse game, a bigger scarcity game. So we miscalculated as a movement. And then even recently, I miscalculated with like people in my life. And, I think everything is being right sized, and I'm really grateful for that. But there is a miscalculation where you think that resolution is what all parties would want, but it's not. And so being able to identify that faster, I've learned it's often just with people who don't read. If people don't think about things other than themselves, if people don't demonstrate empathy, and that's partly why you've got guys like Elon Musk running around saying empathy is the problem. But I will say that someone who is not reading or directly engaging with what's happening in the world on some level, it doesn't have to be majorly, just on any level, they're probably a person that it's harder, I would say, to have a set of things you can rely on in conflict because you don't share the same values. And so take the arguing with people who don't read as broadly or as narrowly as what makes the most sense for, you and your world. But I like rules that I can apply to myself and then broaden out. But now I'm going like full autistic. So I was like, and my other rules I was like, stop.
Well, I want to go back to the not reading, because I don't know how to read, and my worldview is very small.
You're so stupid. You're so dumb. You're actually like one of the smartest people I know, but except for sports, but that's the thing.
And you know what, and I will listen and be very engaged when you talk to me about it, but
you're so lie. I have watched you in the middle of a conversation just completely lose, like just go unseeing. You are unseeing. You're somewhere else. You're in your safe place. That's how much antagonism leaves, like that's how much it antagonizes you. Like, oh, I have something. This, I don't know if I want to leave it, or like if this is a leave it or bring it thing, but this is all for gearing up. You've heard me yap about it, but like we got a big ass fight coming up, and it's happening. Like we're gonna be throwing punches back next year, really, and let's try some shit we haven't tried before, all that, but we have to survive it. And so you need like so much like humor and fucking good people around you. And what I've discovered is like, yeah, it's not just people who don't read. It's like, and I'm not for just like that's not what we're talking about here, throwing folks away. I think it's recognizing though that when you are in conflict, shared values is what you're supposed to be able to fall back on. And I don't know that I fully understood that until this year. Isn't that wild?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think you need it time for the culmination of things to be able to have that hindsight. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. The term far left, it's got to go. It's so stupid. What are we? What are you talking about? There's not even a properly consolidated left, which is something I'm really looking forward to building out. Because someone's going to be like, "I'm left," when it's cool to start saying it again, and we're going to be like, "No, you're not."
Yeah.
you got to. That's not what left means, right? Left doesn't mean identitarianism, and left doesn't mean I get to be right no matter what.
Totally.
Andrew Tate, he got to go. More so, he got to go because I watched him get his ass beat by perhaps. It's not just that he lost in a fight this weekend. And I'm talking about Andrew Tate, right? And Chase, whatever his name is. Now, I know y'all probably know more about the Joshua Paul fight, and I'll talk about that in a second. But
did you just say Joshua Paul?
No, Joshua Paul fight. So Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul.
No, I'm gay.
Right.
This is me.
Oh,
being
right.
gay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that shit. Like he lost. Andrew Tate got his ass beat by maybe one of the worst fighters that have ever existed on the planet. Like this dude, first of all, I think he has maybe 3 brain cells max. He's also kind of an Andrew Tate fan, which makes so much more sense. He was like, this guy saved my life. Everybody's high after a fight, but he's like, this guy, has saved my life. He's really the best. And I was like, yeah, just a bunch of, and like, it's not just that he lost. It's the manner in which he lost, to the manner of fighter he lost. Like it's such a scathing indictment. It's what Barry Weiss did to herself. You know what I mean? She got pulled. Like her shit got pulled. That's how bad. But yeah, and then obviously Jake Paul got his jaw broken in 2 places, but like his whole goal was to make money. So I'm glad people felt like it was worth it to watch like him get punched in the face a bunch, but we have to figure out when they actually want it too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh, speaking of which, okay. What's happening in 2025, and then we'll wrap here. Basically, I think I've made a case for leaving identitarianism. We have to like this main character shit. Let me tell you something. If we're going to keep it, which I'm okay with, because I don't like the way it's used, like on the internet, on this person thinks they're the main character, but I do think it's be funnier in real life because I know people really believe themselves to be the protagonist. If we're going to do that, then we have to normalize antagonists. And how come nobody's ever, I'm an antagonist.
Same.
Yeah, I think I'm an antagonist. I antagonize. That's what I do. I antagonize the state. I antagonize people who are wrong about things. But I think my existence is
yeah.
I think my entire existence is antagonizing to certain types of people, and that's pretty cool. It's what you do, guys. It's what you do with it. It's how you do it, guys. But there's a difference between being an antagonist and a contradictorian. I want to be clear. Like people who are like, I just contradict for the sake of it, the devil's advocate types. That's not what an antagonist is. An antagonist provides a necessary role to offset the hero. In my case, I really hope that the hero is the movement, and that's exactly what Darkwood will do. I hope so, but that's all I got. I really miss my mom. Anything else to add about what we leave or take, Corey?
Yes, I know I said we would leave DL niggas in 2025, but if there are any DL niggas in the chat, my DMs are open. I'm sorry. I realized that I may have cut off that stream of revenue by saying that at the top of the show.
What stream of revenue? Oh,
pass.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I'm going to secure my future, okay? Because it's getting cold outside, and
No, I know. You got to hit your wagon to me and crack that fucking whip, because when I move, I move, but, and you see, guys, it's race play, but it's okay because it's a black faggot whipping a black trans guy.
I didn't say nothing about no goddamn
That
race.
actually,
I didn't say
who's more oppressed, me or Corey, right? Like,
because I'm doing most of the oppression on myself.
yeah,
I'm white woman
honestly,
to be free.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, don't agree too quickly. That was okay.
No. It's I'm like, no, you're doing better, babe. Like I think I actually think you're more oppressed, to be, but you're also a giant. So
I know.
I don't know. We'll have to let 2026 decide that. I just want to let you all know in advance. So the next time you'll hear from us on Dark Woke is going to be the 5th, I believe. But don't despair, because Corey and I will be working on Dark Woke stuff. I'm going to, I think, grow it up a little bit, mature it up a bit, because we are going to be talking to different types of people, and I have a stronger sense of, what I want this to be and where to go. We are going for funding, and I'll let y'all know, because we need to grow this out. So going to write a couple of grants. I say a couple, it's probably going to be one. I don't know if we're going to get it or not, but I feel strongly that we could. And that will make sure that we stay going, but I'm going to keep it a buck, and it's going to happen regardless. I'm going to figure it out, because we need this. There'll be lots of fights next year and a lot of debates that will be happening on our side. And there's a lot of people who want to do really good work. I truly mean it when I say our best is still ahead of us, and so is yours. So be a loaf, be proactive, be thoughtful, be mindless. It really doesn't matter, in the next few days, and survive this holiday season in whatever way makes sense, but make sure you have a little bit of fun, just to keep things interesting. And then we'll get right back to it. But in the meantime, we'll be changing up, I think, the aesthetic. Corey and I will have daily touch bases, just so you know what's going on, so that I'm actually, making shorter form content, to keep our pages alive. And that's going to help condition me to just hit it hard in the paint in the new year. But, yeah, everything is moving in exactly the way that I hoped it would 2 years ago. And it took a long time to get here. And I'm so impressed, with how long y'all have stuck it through with me. It means a lot. And, I'm really looking forward to making you proud. I'm really looking forward to making my mom proud too. So there's a lot to look forward to. We have a lot of work to do. And there's a lot of projects. Transfixed is still happening. The free speech movement happening, monthly shows, live, starting January happening, podcasts happening every, 3 times a week, so we have our stuff. We have a lot to do, y'all. And I'm going to need I'm going to have a lot of questions. And, that free speech movement is going to take a lot of people who have energy, energy, ideas, time, whatever makes sense to donate. But I'm sending so much love out to you all. You're not alone. My mom's name is Esther, if you want to light something. And if you know any home remedies for the inevitable flare-ups I'm going to get, asthmatic, skin, whatever, because of the level of grief, do feel free to send them on, because I promise you, and for the last time, that I'm going to say that this 2025, whoever has my goddamn voodoo doll, put some fucking Vaseline on its lips. For the love of God. We're dry out here. We're dry. I love you all, and I'm really grateful. And shout out to Corey for making us look good, sound good. Shout out to you for making it possible. And I can't wait to talk to you so soon, much more directly. I'm going to be all up in your ears. I'm going to be so annoying. You're going to be like, I need to mute this for 48 hours. Make your shit. Talk your shit. Love y'all. And I can't wait to see you next year, 2026, for Dark Woke.